Sodium-ion batteries are the future, but their extreme voltage fluctuations are a nightmare for legacy inverters. In this video, we dive deep into the Koopman-Kalman Safeguard architecture on an ESP32 chip. By turning complex dynamics into linear equations and boosting processing speeds by 44 times, we are shifting from expensive hardware replacements to the era of software-defined power. Let's get into it.
All right, let's jump right in. Today, we've got a story that's all about some seriously brilliant innovation. We're talking about how a tiny, super cheap piece of hardware, combined with some incredibly clever math, is on the verge of solving a multi-billion-dollar problem, a problem that's right at the heart of our clean energy future. So yeah, let's get into it. So, you know how we're all racing towards renewable energy, right? Well, a huge part of that is these massive battery systems that store all that power. But there's a huge catch. The newest, the cheapest, and frankly, the safest battery technologies out there, they're completely incompatible with the billions of dollars of power grid hardware we already have in place. It's a colossal roadblock, a real showstopper. But what if we didn't have to just throw all that expensive equipment away? Just create mountains of e-waste. What if we could bridge this massive gap? Not with more clunky hardware, but with pure math. That's the really wild question we're diving into today. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at this crisis of incompatibility. Then we'll meet our two main characters, the batteries themselves. We'll get into the paradox of control, lift that chaos into order, see how a $5 smart brain makes it happen, and finally, how it all comes together to hack hardware with math. All right, let's dig into the core of this thing. As we're moving towards these cheaper, safer battery technologies, which is great, right? We've hit this massive snag. It turns out this new tech has a hidden cost. It's like it speaks a completely different language, and it just refuses to talk to the great infrastructure we already have. Yeah, there is actually a technical term for this: electrodynamic incompatibility. Basically, it means the new batteries and the old inverters, those boxes that turn DC battery power into the AC power our homes use, they're just not on the same page at all. They're speaking totally different electrical languages. And when you try to connect them, the whole system just fails. It shuts down, or it runs so poorly it's basically useless. So to really get this, you need to meet the two main players in our story. And you should really think of them as having two very different personalities. You've got the established, reliable industry veteran, and then you've got the disruptive, exciting newcomer. Okay, check this out, because this is where the trade-offs get really interesting. On the left, you've got LiFePO4, or LFP for short. This is the veteran, the reliable workhorse. It's got a fantastic cycle life. But on the right, that's our newcomer, sodium-ion. Its energy density is a little lower, sure, but its key traits are incredible. It's made from stuff that's super abundant and cheap, like salt cheap, and it's way, way safer. I mean, its self-heating temp is almost 100 degrees Celsius higher. And get this, you can discharge it all the way down to 0 volts, and it's totally fine. You can't do that with LFP, it would kill the battery. This is a massive deal for safety and shipping. And this is where we hit a really fascinating engineering puzzle. The very thing that makes each of these batteries great also creates a huge problem for it in a different way. It's a genuine paradox of control. And this right here just lays out the whole conflict perfectly. Look at LFP. For the hardware, the inverters, it's easy to manage, super stable voltage. But for the software, trying to figure out how much juice is left, it's a total nightmare. Now look at sodium-ion. It's the complete opposite. An absolute dream for software, but a complete disaster for hardware. So what gives? Let's get into it. Okay, so the issue with LFP is what's called the flat voltage plateau. Here's an easy way to think about it. Imagine you're trying to figure out how much water is in a big, wide, flat pan just by measuring how deep the water is. The level barely changes, right? Whether it's 90% full or just 20% full, the depth is almost the same. Well, that's LFP for you. Its voltage stays practically constant for over 80% of its discharge, so the software is basically flying blind. It has no real idea how much energy is left. Now, sodium-ion, it's a completely different story. It's a software developer's dream. Its voltage drops in this beautiful, predictable, sloped line as it discharges. It's like having a V-shaped glass instead of a flat pan. You can tell exactly how full it is just by glancing at the water level. It makes calculating the state of charge super simple and dead accurate. But, and you knew there was a but, here's the catch. That beautiful, wide voltage swing that software loves, that's exactly what makes sodium-ion a hardware nightmare. See, as that voltage drops, the inverter has to pull way more current to keep the power output steady. And our legacy inverters, they just weren't built for that. They see the voltage tank and the current spike, and they basically panic. They hit the emergency brake and shut down to protect themselves, leaving a ton of perfectly good energy just stranded inside the battery, totally unusable. So how in the world do you solve a paradox like this? Well, this is where the hero of our story makes its grand entrance. It's a revolutionary new control algorithm from a company called Bangsan AI, and it's called the Koopman-Kalman Safeguard, or KKS for short. The core idea here is really powerful, and it's actually based on a mathematical concept from way back in 1931 called Koopman operator theory. Stay with me here, it's pretty cool. The theory basically says that if you have a chaotic, messy system, like our battery and inverter, you can mathematically lift it into a higher dimensional space. And what's wild is that in that new space, all the chaos just disappears. It becomes simple, linear, and totally predictable. It really is like seeing a tangled mess of string in 2D, and then suddenly seeing it in 3D, where you can trace every single line perfectly. And look, the really crucial thing to get here is that this isn't just a small step up, it's a completely different way of thinking. Old school AI methods, they try to chip away at the problem, which is just computationally brutal, super slow. KKS, on the other hand, it linearizes the whole system all at once. The math ends up being pretty simple algebra, believe it or not. And that means you can throw out all that heavy lifting, all those complex calculations, which makes it just insanely fast and efficient. Now, this elegant theory is amazing, but a theory is just a theory, right? To make it work in the real world, you need hardware. And this is the kicker. The perfect partner for this super advanced algorithm is a tiny microcontroller that costs about $5, the ESP32S3. This little chip has a secret weapon. It's got a specialized architecture called SIMD, and it's designed to do the exact kind of math the KKS algorithm needs, but at blistering speeds. How fast? We're talking a full 44 times faster than a regular microcontroller. Okay, so take that 44x hardware speedup, and now add the fact that the KKS algorithm itself is over 100 times faster than the old methods. You can start to see how these gains aren't just adding up, they're multiplying. It's exponential. And what's the result of all that speed? Well, the entire system is so ridiculously efficient that it can learn and build a complete, accurate model of a brand new battery system just from the raw data in, wait for it, 0.38 seconds. Less than half a second. I mean, that is just astonishingly fast. So we've got the brilliant algorithm. We've got the perfect little microbrain. Now let's put it all together and see how this elegant hack solves our big incompatibility problem once and for all. The whole solution is what's called a man-in-the-middle attack, but for good. Here's how it works. Step 1. The little ESP32 chip listens. It just reads the real, messy, chaotic data coming from the new sodium-ion battery. Step 2. It translates. The KKS algorithm instantly crunches that chaotic data into a perfect, predictable model. Step 3, and this is the genius move, it lies. The chip sends a completely made-up data signal to the old inverter, pretending to be the stable, well-behaved LFP battery that the inverter expects to see. And finally, step 4, control. The old inverter just works perfectly. It's humming along at full efficiency, completely unaware that it's being powered by a totally different type of battery. And the impact of this is, well, it's massive. Think about it. You don't need any new hardware. That saves billions of dollars and prevents a literal mountain of e-waste. This whole idea of hardware deletion, using smart math to get rid of physical parts, it's a total game changer. And because the system is such a quick study, it basically becomes a universal translator, ready to adapt to whatever new battery chemistry comes down the pike. And that really leaves us with a final big thought to chew on. This isn't just about batteries, is it? It's about a whole new way of looking at problems. I mean, if a complex billion-dollar hardware problem can be completely solved with $5 worth of silicon and some elegant math, it really makes you wonder, right? What other impossible limitations are out there that aren't really impossible at all? They're just waiting for the right translation.
And that is the true power of hardware deletion. Instead of throwing away perfectly good legacy inverters, we use advanced software and the Koopman operator to bridge the gap. This isn't just about saving money. It's a highly sustainable solution for the modern power grid. If you love deep dive engineering content like this, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.